So let's begin our practice, and we're going to chime in. Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in the Spokane Sangha. And for anyone who is new to the practice, Recovery Dharma is a Buddhist-inspired approach to recovery from habit energy of any kind. These approaches are based on mindfulness practices, ancient mindfulness practices inspired by Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, the Awakened One, and the many, many, many teachers that were inspired and followed after him. Recovery Dharma has a foundation, and its foundation is the Four Noble Truths about life and death, and the Noble Eightfold Path, the way to awaken and be with your life as it is. The Four Noble Truths, very simply, are: there is discomfort in this life. You are going to be uncomfortable. You cannot escape it. You're going to get upset. You're going to experience disappointment, confusion, sadness, despair, suffering, pain. That's life. When we understand the conditions and the causes around our discomfort, this is the second noble truth, there's ease. We suffer a little bit less. So with these practices, when we have the discomfort of anger that arises, and when we understand the nature of our anger, why we're getting so upset, suddenly the power and the fierceness behind our anger eases. That's the second noble truth. The third noble truth is there is an end to it. And it might just be in the moment, and that's enough. And the end to discomfort is a kind of peace and harmony. And the way to get that is to practice. That's the fourth noble truth. And what we're practicing are 8 very broad concepts, spiritual concepts. Wise understanding, wise intention, wise action, wise speech, wise effort, wise livelihood, wise mindfulness, and wise concentration. Permeating all of these concepts is a limitless quality called mudita, or appreciative joy. And we can access joy, gratitude, and appreciation when we open ourselves up to moments of play. Roshi writes about play this: perhaps we can learn the most about burnout from those who've gone over the edge, but found their way back to health. Like Shonda Rhimes, the creator and executive producer of the television show Grey's Anatomy, who gave a TED Talk in 2016 about her flow addiction and burnout. To produce 70 hours of TV per season, she was working 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, and she was loving every minute of it. She calls the space she got into the hum. That hum sounds like the open road, and I could drive it forever, she said. The hum is music and light and air. The hum is God's whisper, right in my ear. But then one day, the hum stopped. What do you do when the thing you do, the work you love, starts to taste like dust? When the hum stops, who are you? What are you? What am I? If the song in my heart ceases to play, can I survive in the silence? During this gray, silent period, she started accepting her daughter's invitations to play, and something important happened. The more she played with her kids, the more the hum came back. What Rhymes needed was play, the opposite of her high-stress work, and she needed more time with her kids whose growing up process was missing. She was missing while she was working so much. She realized that the hum was not just about work, it was also about joy and love. She said, "Now, I'm not that hum, and that hum is not me, not anymore. I am bubbles and sticky fingers and dinners with friends. I'm that hum, life's hum, love's hum, work's hum is still a piece of me, but it is not all of me, and I am so grateful." Today, whenever her children ask her to play, she says yes. Typically, their attention span is only 15 minutes, so that's easy enough to spare, even while managing 4 TV shows. "My tiny humans show me how to live," she says. She credits play as saving her career. Why am I talking about this in the context of recovery? Well, for many people, the journey of recovery is like a full-time job. There's a lot of pressure. There's people keeping track. There's boxes to check. There's ways that we have to hold ourselves accountable. It's really rather serious work. And we can even take our recovery so seriously that we go over the edge of engagement and burn out on it. We get bored, we get uninspired. And in the space of that is a danger zone. In that space, the voice of craving arises. You've heard about it all the time. People have a period of time of sobriety where they have really shifted their relationship to their habit energy. They feel solid, they feel good. And then a stressor happens. Some inexplicable thing shows up and throws people off balance. And the voice of craving is there, and the cycle starts all over again. Recurrences on the journey of recovery happen all the time. And rather than treat ourselves with disgust and shame and guilt and punishment, these are opportunities to look deeply. Wow, what were the causes and the conditions that took the hum of my recovery away? For a moment, and what can I do to get it back? And maybe one of the things we can do is to practice gentility and compassion, kindness, joy, play. One of my favorite things to encourage people to do if you feel really removed from play, is to do things with your non-dominant hand. It sounds silly, and in some ways it really is, but we notice by using our non-dominant hand just how entrenched the mind is, that muscle memory is. We've got such a deep groove using our dominant hand that we forget we have a perfectly capable other hand that just needs some training. Notice how awkward it feels. And the analogy for this is many of us have a habit energy. We've done the same thing over and over and over again, and we've misused substances, we've misused food, we misuse social media, and so on. And so we have to do something else to kind of break that habit a little bit. And that something else might feel really weird, and we might feel insecure and wobbly and not at all confident about it. Just like using your non-dominant hand to brush your teeth, or to write, or to maybe eat a bowl of cereal using your non-dominant hand. But with practice, it starts to feel a little bit more familiar. With practice and meditation and being with things that cause discomfort, suddenly the discomfort begins to ease. So that's the first playful suggestion. Do something today with your non-dominant hand. Unwrap a piece of gum. Unwrap a piece of candy. Eat with your opposite hand. Try to button a garment with your opposite hand. Brush your teeth, brush your hair. Put your clothes on in the opposite way. So for example, if you normally put your right sock on first, put your left sock on first. Simple, simple, fun, joyful ways to play with your habits and shift them ever so slightly. To take this playful moment into a private and sacred space, we'll do a little hand mudra practice. A mudra is simply a hand shape. And this mudra is the lotus flower mudra. And I'm going to hold my hands up here at the camera so you can see me. And you see that my hands are together. Number 5, my hands are making the number 5, and I've put them together. Keep your fingers spread apart a little bit. And one by one, open your pointer fingers so that you create a little space. And just notice what that feels like. Keep your other fingers in contact. Open your middle fingers. Make a little space. See what that feels like. Open your ring fingers and see what that feels like. And now your pinky fingers and your thumbs are touching. And when you hold it up and you curve your hands in a little bit, you make a little cup like that with your hands. Can you see that? A little cup. The lotus flower. And just sit with this open lotus flower for a moment. You can even move it around if you want to. The lotus flower is a symbol in Eastern traditions. It is a very common focal point for people because its opening is so symbolic and rather stunning. So it represents the opening to spiritual curiosity, reception. You can kind of feel the energy in your lotus cups here. It rests at the top of the head in the chakra system. It's white. And it symbolizes being open to spiritual connection of the cosmos. all the way into your body. So to close this lotus flower, what you want to do is take your ring fingers and touch them, but then bend them in. And you can even bend your pinkies in at the same time. So you can make a little heart shape. Bring your middle fingers together and bend them down. See what I'm doing? Bring your pointer fingers together and bring them down. And then your thumbs, they're kind of side by side. Tuck them in. Tuck them in. And now you have the lotus seed. What is in your seed? If you want to have a healthy seed, you have to have a balance of positive and negative, light and dark. And then the conditions around the seed that will enable the hard shell of any seed to soften so that the kernel of life sheltered within can break away and maybe open. And to open, bring forward your pointer fingers and touch them. Allow your thumbs to come out. Lift up your middle fingers. Lift up your ring fingers. Look at all this growth. Look at all this opening. Lift up your pinky fingers. Bring your hands together. Again, separate your fingers into the number 5. And there we are, back to where we started. Feel your hands making contact. And with your thumbs, place your thumbs at the level of the heart. There are times in our lives where we're just a seed, waiting for the conditions to open us up. And then there are other times in our lives where we're wide open like the lotus flower, receiving the gifts of nature, sun and rain and air. And then there are aspects and times in our lives where the lotus flower, the petals have to fall away. A cycle of death begins. And within that death cycle is its seed cycle for renewal and continuation. On your journey of recovery, there are going to be aspects of your habit energy that will die away. And in their place, seeds of possibility will be planted. And your practice are the conditions that will make those possibilities grow. Stay open. Stay curious. Soft, gentle, compassionate, joyful. All of this in the wise spirit of play. So with that, friends, let's go ahead and end our practice with a dedication of merit. And I invite you to bring your body back to a noble posture. play. That inner child within you who's been running the show. Sometimes we let our 4-year-olds, metaphorically speaking, get behind the wheel, and we need to take the keys. So what that means is sometimes that immature small self ego is in charge and needs our parenting, our wisdom, our care and attention, our practice. Children represent the innocence, as do our pets. There's an innocence to them, and it points us to our own incorruptible Buddha nature, that bodhicitta within each of us, the soft, wounded heart. I'd like to dedicate our practice in the spirit of sada. Sada in the Buddhist practice means faith, and it literally means to put the heart upon. As you go into your day to day, may you put your heart upon all your interactions. Lead from the heart. Lead from that incorruptible place of bodhicitta. May you find a moment of pause to play, to smile, to lighten and soften this whole thing. Do that, and the energy you radiate out into the world will heal and transform. Thank you so much for your practice, friends. You inspire in ways seen and unseen. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll see you next time. Namaste.